This is the X-Zone Broadcast Network, broadcasting worldwide on broadcast affiliates and satellite program providers, including CNN Broadcast Network, Sirius Satellite Network, Star Media, Good News Radio Network, Angel Broadcast Network, Wiki Broadcast Network, and WPBN TV. For more information on the X-Zone Broadcast Network, visit us at www.xzbn.net.
The X-Zone Radio Show with Rob McConnell is largely an opinion talk show. All opinions, comments, or statements of fact expressed by Rob McConnell's guests are strictly their own and are not to be construed as those of the X-Zone Radio Show or endorsed in any manner by Rob McConnell, rel-mar McConnell Media Company, the X-Zone Broadcast Network, its affiliated networks, stations, employees, or advertisers.
All Hit Radio.
Welcome to the X-Zone, a place where fact is fiction and fiction is reality. Now, here's your host, Rob McConnell.
And welcome back, one and all. This is the X-Zone. I am Rob McConnell, and we're coming to you from our broadcast center and corporate studios in Hamilton, Ontario, Canada, and around the world on the X-Zone Broadcast Network and our family of broadcast affiliates and satellite program providers. If you'd like to send an email, xzone at xzoneradiotv.com, on all social media sites, X-Zone Radio TV, and to find out what other great programming is available for you 24/7, 365 on the X-Zone Broadcast Network, visit www.xzbn.net. X-Zone Nation, our guest this hour is Chad E. Cooper, author of Time Isn't the Problem, 4 Strategies to Transform Stress into Success, leads his life by example. He retired at 35 and has since been a successful working coach with CEOs, professional athletes, to people in everyday walk of life. He inspires others to grab their dreams and execute them with passion. Chad teaches people to move out of a life of fear, boredom, frustration, and exhaustion, and live a life where dreams become legendary lifestyle and where time can serve them. Chad shows people how to discover and honor their core values. For Chad, it's about integrating emotional, physical, mental, and spiritual to be truly successful. He is committed to making a difference in other people's lives as his way of giving back. A man of humility and ethics, he is the creator of the legendary lifestyle program, where Chad simplifies his work for anyone on any level at any age. His website is www.chadecooper.com. And Chad, welcome to the X-Zone.
Thank you, Rob. Glad to be here and help people figure out how to make time serve them.
Chad, what was it that put you on this path to helping people after having retired at only 35 years of age?
Great question. And like many people who come up with ways to help others in the self-help industry, mine began with myself. And when I hit 40 years old, I hit every goal, every big achievement that I had wanted to achieve for the most part, so much that I applied for a Guinness World Record of 900 of the most popular bucket list items completed. And I went, that's awesome. And oh, poop, I've got 40, 50, 60 years, God willing, in front of me. Mm-hmm. What am I going to do? And so it really was about a journey for myself to figure out, can I replicate what I started or completed in the first 40 years and be able to do it again? And I found that path forward. But like many people who have an expert system out there, often it works for them, and then they go out and say, hey, do this because it worked for me. But I wanted to make sure that system would work for others. And so I tested it in all kinds of different environments, Rob. And what I found in making tweaks, it works universally, whether you have technology or you're still using pen and paper. So that's really how the whole solution came about.
You talk about living a legendary lifestyle. What is your definition of a legendary lifestyle?
My definition of a legendary lifestyle is a lifestyle that is defined by your own standards. One of the things that I witnessed early on when I retired at 35 is my close friends would come up and say, "You're not retired. You're working more than you did when you worked in the corporate industry." And I said, "Well, wait a minute. Do you want to be on the golf course?" And they said, "No, we don't like golf." I said, "Then why are you forcing that definition of retirement on me?" I said, "I'm not the golfing kind of person. I'll go out and play occasionally, but I don't want to be out there 4 days a week." And so my definition is really the same as retirement. Retirement is about being able to do what you want to do on your terms. And our lifestyles should be defined the same way. It shouldn't be decided whether you can afford a Rolls Royce or a Ferrari. If you enjoy, a affordable vehicle that brings joy and a smile to your face every time you get in it, then that's your definition of legendary. So it's really about being able to show up every day in understanding what charges your batteries.
So it's a matter of personal preference, right?
It is a matter of personal preference, and it's also a matter of, are you living up to your own standards?
All right.
If we live by society's standards, it's a pretty low bar.
All right, stand by. You and I have to take our first break. Exonation, Chad E. Cooper is our special guest this hour. And if you'd like more information about Chad, his website is www.chadecooper.com. This is the X Zone. I am Rob McConnell, and we'll be back on the other side of this break as we continue broadcasting around the world from our broadcast center in Hamilton, Ontario, Canada. Don't go away.
This is the X Zone Broadcast Network, broadcasting worldwide on broadcast affiliates and satellite program providers, including CNN Broadcast Network, Sirius Satellite Network, Star Media, Good News Radio Network, Angel Broadcast Network, Wiki Broadcast Network, and WPBN TV. For more information on the X Zone Broadcast Network, visit us at www.xzbn.net.
Did you know that when you're on the road with limited data or Wi-Fi, you can still listen to the X Zone Radio Show with Rob McConnell, The Science of Magic with Gwilda Wiyaka, X-1, Dimension X, Space Patrol, and every minute of the X Zone Broadcast Network by calling 213-401-0080, courtesy of Audio Now. No smartphone, app, or internet needed. It saves your data plan, and it's free if you have unlimited minutes. Call 213-401-0080 to listen on any phone, anytime, anywhere. Remember, 213-401-0080 for the best of the paranormal, parapsychology, and sci-fi radio programming anywhere, 24/7, 365.
I am Dr. Carl O'Helvey, founder, president of a new cancer foundation focusing on evidence-based physical, mental, and spiritual interventions, including natural cancer cures, prayer, meditation, affirmations, nutrition, and other related holistic cancer prevention and cure modalities. These are used in cancer education, research, and financing care. I ask for your help to continue this important work by donating at www.holisticcancerfoundation.com.
Is it science or is it magic? Once a magical thing has been scientifically proven, is it no longer magic? Or is magic simply the science of tomorrow? Join me, Gwilda Wiyaka, on The Science of Magic, a syndicated radio program dedicated to combining the science and magic of today's dynamic and controversial topics to co-create new solutions. By triangulating information from today's leading experts from the scientific and magical fields, we uncover expansive and evolutionary truths you won't find anywhere else. Join us daily on the X Zone Broadcast Network, xzbn.net, as I interview the shared thoughts with the amazing guests from both science and magic. The resulting knowledge is unprecedented. As a gift to you, the listener, past episodes can be accessed on our website free of charge at thescienceofmagic.net.
Little children aren't the only ones afraid of the dark. Millions of soldiers return from war zones with PTSD, anger, frustration, fear, and loneliness, much of which surfaces during the darkness of the night. You have the chance to change the lives of these American heroes. Songs and Stories for Soldiers.us provides free MP3 players for these men and women. With a list of 3 million songs in 16 different styles, 100,000 audiobooks, and 30,000 old-time radio programs, every veteran can find something to soothe and comfort them at no cost. All our players contain an 8-hour audio program designed to help veterans fall asleep. With 1,500 plus vets now participating, it's our goal to deliver 10,000 audio players this year. Go to our website at songsandstoriesforsoldiers.us. Help us help a veteran make it through the night.
Welcome back, everyone. Chad E. Cooper is our guest, www.chadecooper.com. What are some of the challenges that you face as a coach?
Challenges that I face as a coach. That's a question I don't often get asked, I would say. Really is deciding. Often what happens is in most things in life, we are interviewing someone and we think, oh, well, am I going to hire this person or not? Mm-hmm. And often people don't look at it from the other side, and that is whether I want to take on a client. And so sometimes the biggest challenge is that I don't feel that I can serve this person. And so I have some very professional ways of being able to say I don't want to work with them or that I may not be the best fit for them. But it really is about determining whether somebody's truly committed to the change that they are looking for. Are they just kind of inspired or motivated initially, or are they thinking that they're just going to use discipline alone to achieve their goals? And what I find is discipline is a great asset, but it's not enough for you to change your behavior. And so it's really the hardest thing is making sure that there's enough commitment, enough understanding of what they want to do and how determined are they to get through there. And the best way to do that is to be able to determine, do they know the strength of their purpose? Are they using discipline, or are they actually using the strength of the purpose itself? Because that's what it's going to take in order to change behavior. We're behavior creatures. Most of us are out of habit doing most things the same, and we don't like change. And so I have to know that that's going to be a crucial element that you're capable of, or it's not going to be a good recipe.
What kind of changes would somebody have to make?
Well, the changes can be really just asking, what are you willing to give in exchange for the outcome that you're committed to? And that could be money, that could be time, that could be giving up a limiting belief. So it could be a number of things that somebody is considering, but ultimately they have to make a decision of what they're willing to give in exchange. Everything has a price, everything has a positive and a negative to it. So what are the consequences? And often we think, well, if I want to have an intimate relationship with somebody, well, it's going to feel really good. But the downsides are maybe you weren't ready for pregnancy and that happens, or maybe you get a disease. And so it's really important that when we're looking for a goal, that we understand the pros and cons, because that's part of life.
Well, what are you? Are you a business consultant? Are you a business coach? Or are you a personal relationship expert?
Well, I work with professional athletes and I work with business people, but I will tell you in my experience, probably 85 to 90% of the people I work with also have a relationship need. As I was saying earlier, we go to school, we learn math and science, and often we're really not taught how to communicate well with people, how to actually have or be successful in a relationship, right?
Hello? I think we lost our guest. Oh, Craig, are we having problems with the audio feed? Yeah, we're having problems with the audio feed. Chad, are you there?
Yep, I can hear you.
Okay, we lost you there for a few seconds. Chad,
I'm looking at my side, and it's actually showing very strong.
Well, our side is showing very. You're cutting up as you get over here, so we'll just keep on trucking because I don't give up.
Excellent.
Okay, so based on the experience you have in business, and I'd like to stick to the business side of it.
Sure.
What are some of the major challenges that you and some of the clients that you work with have come up against?
Well, I've had clients that are up for an athlete that's up for a contract renewal, as an example. So maybe they're working on a $40 or an $80 million contract, and their game is, let's say, not in the best place it needs to be to secure that contract easily. And so what I may work with them, look, there's nothing I can do to teach a boxer how to be better in the ring strategically with their hands. There's nothing I can do mechanically to help them. There's nothing that I can teach a professional baseball player how to throw a pitch or hit a bat better. But what I can determine is often what happens is that physically they may be on the mound, but mentally their head's back at home worried about their relationship. And so what I will help them with is to be able to make decisions. And I've helped people make the decision of, is it going to be the contract or the relationship? And often what we try to do is make it a yes and versus an either or experience. But sometimes it comes down to they have to make a decision. And so ultimately what I'm able to do is, whether you're a business person or you're in a relationship or you're looking for your finances, is how to make decisions and take action. That's where results come from. So, is it a specific industry? No, because it's about actions. It's about results. And results occur in all industries, in all roles of our lives.
I find it hard to understand how these people can either be these super athletes, and by the way, I think all athletes are well overpaid, and, I don't understand the sports industry at all. I'm a person who has no interest in sports whatsoever, but it ticks me off to know that families are spending $500, $600, $700 to watch these athletes play, and to me it's just a waste of money. But that's just me. If a business person is successful, if he's a billionaire, why would he need a personal coach? He's already successful.
Well, he might be successful in one place, but we can look at Robin Williams as an example of somebody who most of the world would consider highly successful, yet he wasn't happy.
No,
and we know how that ended.
Yeah.
And so often what happens in that, Rob, is that we look at something as, is this something I want to do or something that I have to do? And since we have choice, why not say I get to decide what I want to do?
Exactly.
So some people create the empire so large that they can't take their finger off of it for fear that it's going to completely collapse.
Would you say those people are control freaks?
Not necessarily.
Then why would they be afraid to take their finger off the button? Why would they be afraid to let it go?
Well, because that's their identity. And one of the things that I've noticed in Olympians and in people who retire is that when we have an identity, it is one of the strongest forces in the universe. And we will even die to preserve that identity. So somebody who retires and they're successful in their career, and they have significance in that career, will in their retirement still seek significance, even if it's unhealthy, like maybe contracting cancer or getting ill. And so we have to meet our needs. And everybody has these basic needs. What we want to do, though, in doing that sometimes is we build this environment that drains us, that we see it as it was once a get-to-do experience, and now it's a have-to-do. So we go, hey, look at me. I'm so drained at doing all this stuff, and I'm not really enjoying it. Aren't I something? We actually use that as a badge of honor. I'm strong. I'm honorable. I'm lovable. But I'm not the one that happy people stroll through life in a state of rose-colored hypnosis.
It also sounds as if they're very. It also sounds as if they're very egotistical.
I would say each of us, in my mentors, people I've worked with, it started with Maslow and then Erickson. In today's world, we see it under Tony Robbins, are the 6 human needs. We all have a need for certainty. We all have a need for variety. We also have a need for love and connection. We also have a need for significance, growth, and contributing beyond ourselves. Now, the order that we each seek those can be unique. So maybe yours is, being able to have variety and growth, and maybe mine is contribution and connection. Those can be 2 very different worlds. Mm-hmm. So if somebody is needing certainty in their life and the other person craves variety, and I say, hey, Rob, let's go jump out of an airplane.
I'd say, sure, let's do it.
Certainty is going to be like, absolutely not. So that's saying that there's something wrong with them? No. It's just the way that they see the world.
But who do we blame? There's got to be a fault that we can say this is what happened in the evolution of humanity, where all these screw-ups started happening, where we have to go outside of our own comfort zone to find somebody to tell us what we're doing wrong and what we're doing right. Where's that fault line?
Well, I would say that is evolution, and I had an extraordinary experience with the Waitaha, which are a Maori people of New Zealand. They're one of the oldest Maori of all of New Zealand. These people are ancient people. Mm-hmm. And what they helped me understand, and we go to these places, right? We go and see the Dalai Lama as an example. We go off on these retreats, and we go to these special places, and we think, oh my gosh, this is so incredible. It's so unique. And what the Waitaha said is, no, this is not a special place. You're special. This is normal. This is what normal is supposed to be. We're the miracle. We're the special ingredient because we found our way home. So how did we get here? Doesn't matter. The question is I think we're all wanting to get back to what normal is supposed to be. And in order to do that, requires us to empty our cup in order to become normal again. Because everything else is just noise and distraction and leading us away from normal. And when we label or blame others, that's leading us away from being normal.
So here's a question then. How can you, as a coach, who isn't totally aware of what this person is all about, bring him home to what he believes to be as normal?
Well, there's, again, only so many patterns in human behavior. Mm-hmm. And if you know what those patterns are, then we have tools that allow us to, for lack of better words, profile a person and say, you generally are over in this bucket, right? Because as human beings, we like to put people and things in buckets. You belong in this space. You belong. And so I'm able to look at people and work with them and find out what their normal is supposed to be. Mm-hmm. And then as a coach, we ask empowering questions that allow the answers from within to come up. See, a mentor says, hey, this is how I did it. You need to do it this way. An advisor says, hey, we found the solution. Do this prescription. A psychologist will say, I'm the way I am because mom and dad, whatever, fill in the blank, right? They go from your past to your present. But a coach works with your presence where you are today, that you've accepted, not using your past as an excuse for making poor or crappy behavior decisions today. But it says this is an explanation. I'm responsible. I'm taking ownership, and help me find the answers to move forward. That's what separates coaching industry from all the others of mentoring, consulting, advising, or therapy.
All right, stand by. I've got to take my final break for this hour. Exonation, Chad E. Cooper's our guest, www.chadeCooper.com. xzrs.com. All right, Exonation, this is where I ask you to send me your comments. Tell me what you think. All you do is in the subject of the email, put Chatty Cooper, and I'd like to hear what you have to say. Do this every once in a while. Today's the lucky day of the draw. So once again, send your emails to Exxon at exxonradiotv.com, and in the subject matter, Chatty Cooper, and tell us what you think. We'll be back on the other side of this break. Don't go away.
This is the Exxon Broadcast Network, broadcasting worldwide on broadcast affiliates and satellite program providers, including CNN Broadcast Network, Sirius Satellite Network, Star Media, Good News Radio Network, Angel Broadcast Network, Wiki Broadcast Network, and WPBN TV. For more information on the X-Zone Broadcast Network, visit us at www.xzbn.net.
How would you like to be able to read other people's minds? Well, the next best thing is here. When you know how to read a person's name, you know how the person thinks, feels, and behaves. Each letter in our name holds a key to unlock our true essence. Our name contains both our gifts and challenges in this lifetime. Mnemology science discovers personality secrets hidden in the placement of the letters of our names, including the first and last impression people remember about us. Sharon shows us how to interpret the arrangement of letters as outlined in her book, Know the Name, Know the Person. Sharon Lynn Wyeth created mnemology science after 18 years of research and testing her theories, and has supported thousands of people around the world in understanding themselves and others better. You'll enjoy Sharon's unique teachings as she shares her system to learn the gifts behind your given birth name. Even if you don't like your birth name, there are jewels in this book. If you're thinking of changing your name, ready to name your child, or wanting to get along better with others, this is the book for you. If you'd like to improve your relationships and change your life for the better, get the book today, Know the Name, Know the Person, or visit www.knowthename.com. That's www.knowthename.com.
Hello, I'm Justina Marsh, and with my dad Pete, we are going to present a new show called Too Good to Be True. Together, we are aiming to discover more truths about this world and beyond. Do you have unanswered questions about the world? Do you ever wonder about aliens, conspiracy theories, or the universe? There are many shows discussing subjects such as pyramids or UFOs, but we want to relay this information based on our own research, including from spiritual means. Hopefully, listeners will be helped with their own beliefs and will appreciate the psychic insights that add to the previous research and information. We both look forward to sharing this insight and beginning this journey with our listeners. Visit xzbn.net for more information about when to listen.
Ancient prophecies, legends, and current events indicate we're entering a high-frequency era supporting enlightenment. During expansive times, old rules fail, necessitating access to the ever-shifting currents of life for guidance. There's an ancient form of shamanism through which we can obtain the information we need. I'm Gwilda Wieka, founder and director of Path Home Shamanic Art School, with a great new provision for those interested in spiritual evolution and personal empowerment. Galactic Shamanism, Art of the Ancients, Key to Tomorrow, is an upcoming series of leading-edge online affordable classes designed to guide and support you and your family during these times of transition. Embrace the magic. Empower your life. Study Galactic Shamanism at findyourpathhome.com.
This is the Exxon Broadcast Network, broadcasting worldwide on broadcast affiliates and satellite program providers, including CNN Broadcast Network, Sirius Satellite Network, Star Media, Good News Radio Network, Angel Broadcast Network, Wiki Broadcast Network, and WPBN TV. For more information on the X Zone Broadcast Network, visit us at www.xzbn.net.
Welcome back to the X Zone, everyone. If you'd like to be one of the more than 7 million people around this world who has downloaded, with our compliments, the August-September edition of the X Chronicles newspaper, all you have to do is go to www.xchroniclesnewspaper.com. That's XCHRONICLES newspaper.com. Chad E. Cooper is our special guest, and Chad, thanks very much for joining us. And you've done so many things in a short life, from being a Marine to lifestyle coach. What do you attribute your accomplishments to?
Well, I would say there's several characteristics or qualities that are part of that. The first is being able to have language that supports the direction, supports the lifestyle, supports the goals that you have in mind. And one of the things that I've noticed that separates people is there's about 12,500 words in the English Oxford Dictionary that describe emotions and feelings. The average person uses 12 words. 12. And so I watched one day, one of my brothers, I have many, and one is a graphic artist. And I said, that's a nice color blue. And he goes, what are you talking about? That's not blue. I said, I'm right there. That's blue. And he pulls out this color palette, and he goes, no, that's navy blue, and this is baby blue, and this is royal blue, and this is periwinkle. And that moment is our language is like colors, and most of us are restricted to the primary colors. But if we really want to have a juicy and delicious life, we really want to understand the difference of just making more money versus sucking the juice out of life, it begins with language that allows you to come alive. Language that connects you back to your purpose. That's the second piece, is most of us think our purpose or several things. It's when I have the right house, when I have enough money or the right amount of money in the bank account, when I have the right title, all these things that we're going after, then I'll be happy. But sadly, we have celebrities, too many of them, that have passed because they had celebrity status, they had money, they had fame, but they weren't happy. And so really the second piece that has allowed me to be successful is I've known my purpose. And our purpose is far simpler than we think, Rob. Our purpose is a feeling. How do we want to feel? And if we know how we want to feel, then we know what we can put into our life, into our calendars that recharge our batteries. Maybe it's time with some guys or a girls' night out. Maybe it's a experience in your intimate relationship, but they become get-to moments. And when you fill your life with that, then you're able to accomplish way more goals.
Okay. So how do you point this out to somebody who thinks that they've got it all?
Sorry about that.
That's all right.
So often what happens is people will come to me. So I've had the very fortunate privilege of working with billionaires, multimillionaires, so financial titans of the world, professional athletes in all kinds of different sports industries, and Olympians. And one thing that I've noticed is Olympians are a great example, is that they will come to me and they'll explain their compressed career. So often many Olympians will be in their teens to early 20s when they achieve medal status. And the thing is their commitment is extraordinary, but it's also at the sacrifice of maybe a college degree or some personal relationships. And so they actually end up resenting having that attainment because it represents all that they are. And as a business owner or as an employee, sometimes we're working so hard to be this entrepreneur or create our enterprise that we do it at the sacrifice of maybe an intimate relationship and end up in divorce, or at the expense of our health. And so people will come to me when they've excelled in maybe one or two areas, but it's also costing them in multiple other areas. And so I have leverage, and they're saying, look, I can't keep doing this. And so really a big piece of this is you have to be able to start with leverage. What's it going to cost you to continue down this path? And for many of us, we're going to get to a point in our life. 97% of the world lives in effect. We're going to get to a point of attainment in our life where we have to choose the next obstacle standing in our way, that next level in our life, be it business, health, whatever it may be, is going to appear as a challenge. And you can either take your foot off the pedal and slowly drift or dabble over the next several decades and hope that the government system or somebody's going to allow you to ride out your earnings, or that it's going to last, or that somebody might buy your business and bail you out. But 3% of the population understands that they have to be in cause. They have to create their future, stay resourceful. And so what I do is I help people who are either in a great place and they want to, or they're struggling, and we first get leverage and then we get clarity. What does success look like? And from there, it's about not just persistence, but consistency.
All right, I hope you don't take this next question the wrong way, but why would a billionaire or an athlete or an Olympian go to you for help?
No, I don't take it the wrong way at all. In fact, it's a question that often occurs. And the reason for that is that because of my track record, there are only so many patterns of behavior in human beings. And often we're so busy playing at the game of life, Rob, that we can't see everything that's going on. And so it's like a coach on the sidelines. That coach can see what's going on. They can get a bird's eye view of what's going on, and they can have distinctions that you can't see, you can't observe, because you're so busy playing at the game of life that you don't see the entire field. And so I can come in, and I may have somebody that is extraordinary in the business world at the jeopardy of their relationship, their marriage. And so they will come in and say, I'm great in one or two areas. How can I be extraordinary across the board? And so my goal is really how to strike that balance at a high standard, their standard, to be able to support them. So just because I may be good in one area or great in one area doesn't always mean that I have the tool set across the board. And so if you can find a coach, find somebody that's able to help you make those distinctions, then you're able to actually close those gaps and be able to continue to excel to that next level in your life.
Why don't we realize this ourselves? Why do we need to go outside of the box?
Well, our egos get in the way often. The second, I would say, is that when we go to education, we're really teaching people how to address math and how to address science, etc. But as Warren Buffett said to Bill Gates and Warren Buffett were interviewed by Charlie Rose in January of 2017. And Bill Gates said, the thing that Warren taught me is that he used to think that having a busy calendar was an indication of his level of seriousness or commitment to life. And what Warren taught him was actually having space, creating some padding, is where creativity comes alive. That's where inspiration occurs. And so you have two of the richest people in the world that should seemingly know everything, but they still continue to support each other with distinctions. And that's really kind of the point, is that we can't know everything. And so it's about who we surround ourselves with.
Exactly. You're only as strong as your team is, and there's no I in the word team.
There we go. And it's something that I learned in my experience in the Marine Corps. It's something I learned as an elected official for a decade. One of those pieces, and I see that it really can be a rare commodity. Maybe the rarest characteristic that I've witnessed is courage. Courage to lean into your fear. And so what we may know isn't always what we do. I mean, let's be realistic. How many people know how to be healthy in their nutrition, in their diet? But do we actually do it? No.
Well, I think that
actually doing it can be two different things.
I think there are those who know what to do and do it, and those who know what to do but are too damn lazy to do it.
Well, I would agree. There are some people who don't want to do the work.
Exactly.
Those are not the people that I work with.
But don't you find in today's society that people expect to have everything given to them instantaneously and that they don't feel they have to work for it?
What I found is that we have become accustomed to being too comfortable. And I remember a drill instructor one time very clearly telling me, when you hurt, be thankful, because that means you're still alive.
Mm-hmm.
Pain is your friend.
Right.
And when I was in boot camp, I had the unfortunate privilege of having the flu one time. And that is not something you want in boot camp. And they had a very interesting way of helping me overcome that. And that was having me do push-ups nonstop until I had total muscle failure. Now, somebody had a watch, which you weren't supposed to have, and they actually timed me doing push-ups for 45 minutes. Now, it was painful. It was difficult. It sucked. But what I learned in that moment is that our bodies are capable of way more, like 20 times more than what our brains want to deal with. And so I think Mark Devine, who is a 25-year Navy SEAL commander, really says it best. Is the industrial age brought material prosperity, and it eliminated a lot of natural challenges life used to deliver. But it also brought obesity, poor health, lack of purposeful existence, and a general malaise with an alarmingly large percentage of the population in dependency. And so we've created this ourselves.
Well, of course
but it doesn't mean that it's a standard we have to subscribe to.
Well, I agree. I agree with that 100%. But my concern is that if we are using self-help gurus to help us figure this out, why do people, why don't they just figure it out themselves? For example, I've never sought outside help. I surround myself with a good team, and I depend on my team. I know what I should do, and I know what I shouldn't do, and I find it baffling when other people can't.
Well, for the same reason. Why did Michael Jordan have a coach when he's still considered the best basketball player in life? Because there are things that we are blind to. There's I don't know that it's a clinical term, but the common term is catch-up disease. And that is you're sitting at the dinner table and somebody says, hey, can you go to the fridge and grab the ketchup? And you're going, I don't want it. No, I don't. I'm enjoying my food's going to get cold. Oh, please, I can't get up. So you go there and you open it up. I don't see the ketchup. It's on the door, second drawer or second shelf, right-hand side. Nope, I can't see it. Finally, they get up exasperated. They come over, and right in front of your face, they're like, right here. See, when we don't want to see something, we can literally erase it from our existence. And so sometimes we need a coach. Sometimes we need a support mechanism that allows us to see the things that we don't want to see. Sometimes we need somebody that can encourage us to walk as far as we can see. And when we get there, it gives us the courage to walk the rest of the way.
All right, stand by. We've got to take our news break at the bottom of the hour. Exo Nation, our guest this hour is Chad Cooper, www.chaddcooper.com. This is the Exxon. I am Rob McConnell. And I'll be back on the other side of this break as we continue here in the Exxon from our broadcast center in Hamilton, Ontario, Canada on the Exxon Broadcast Network. Don't go away.
The Earth is under ever-increasing pressure from untenable lifestyles and growing populations. Yet, viable answers seem in short supply. What if I told you there's an ancient form that can empower you to take charge of your life? What if your entire family could be enfolded and supported by life itself, finding safe passage through challenging times? I'm Gwilda Wiyaka, founder and director of Path Home Shamanic Art School, with great news. An upcoming series of leading-edge online affordable classes based in an ancient form of shamanism, easily learned and used by your entire family. Galactic Shamanism, Art of the Ancients, Key to Tomorrow are a series of online adult and children's lessons instructing your entire family on natural law, how to cooperate with and be supported by the powers of the universe. Visit findyourpathhome.com to find these unique and powerful classes.
This is the X-Zone Broadcast Network, broadcasting worldwide on broadcast affiliates and satellite program providers, including CNN Broadcast Network, Sirius Satellite Network, Star Media, Good News Radio Network, Angel Broadcast Network, Wiki Broadcast Network, and WPBN TV. For more information on the X-Zone Broadcast Network, visit us at www.xzbn.net.
Did you know that when you're on the road with limited data or Wi-Fi, you can still listen to the X-Zone Radio Show with Rob McConnell, The Science of Magic with Gwilda Wiyaka, X-1, Dimension X, Space Patrol, and every minute of the X-Zone Broadcast Network by calling 213-401-0080, courtesy of Audio Now. No smartphone, app, or internet needed. It saves your data plan, and it's free if you have unlimited minutes. Call 213-401-0080 to listen on any phone, anytime, anywhere. Remember 213-401-0080 for the best of the paranormal, parapsychology, and sci-fi radio programming anywhere, 24/7, 365.
Are you curious? Do you want to learn more about how the world works and have fun at the same time? Study coincidences with me, Dr. Bernie Beitman, MD, on my Connecting with Coincidence radio show, here on the XZBN network. Listen to Jungians theorize, statisticians randomize, true believers evangelize, while I categorize. I dance to the rhythm of coincidences. People who experience me see more of them. Maybe something on the show matches a thought in your mind. Let us know. Expand your mind to the weirdness happening around you. Synchronicity spoken here, there, and everywhere. For more information, put Connecting with Coincidence in your search engine and find my website, my social media sites, and my blog.
What is truth? Historically, we viewed things as either being true or false. Now, as we enter a more expansive era, we find the question is not, is it true, but rather, how true is it? I'm Gwilda Wiyaka, host of the Science of Magic Radio, a syndicated, internationally broadcast radio program dedicated to uncovering this ever-expanding truth. Join me daily on the X-Zone Broadcast Network, xzbn.net, as I interview today's leading experts from the fields of science and magic to uncover the hidden truth between the lines drawn in the sand. What we unearth in our discussions is not only amazing, but totally unprecedented. You won't want to miss a single episode. In service to our listeners, past episodes can always be found on our website with our compliments at thescienceofmagic.net.
Chad, how long does it usually take you when you start with a client to the point where you believe that your job as a coach has been fulfilled?
Well, I will say that my experience with my clients, I work with my clients for years, Rob. So I don't have short-term relationships with them. And the reason for that is just like all of us, right? We can remember maybe our first apartment or our first home. And when our standard of living got better, our paycheck got a little bit bigger, then we decided to upgrade. And life is pretty much like that, is we continue to raise the bar on our goals and what we want. We're growth oriented. And so I find that even if I help a client get to some initial goals, is we set new goals. There's always that next level that we're seeking. Just like we were talking about billionaires. Why would they need someone? Because they're never short on wanting to achieve. Bill Gates doesn't have to work. He does it because that's what drives him. That's what fulfills him. And so he doesn't see it as work. He sees it as just doing the steps. And so I help people do those steps, and typically it's over many years.
Do you find most of your clients are male or female?
That's been an interesting question that I'm looking at, and it's actually, I'm surprised at it myself, and I actually have a good balance of both male and female. In fact, I have a very large following of female subscribers and female individuals that go through my course material, buy my book, and hire me as a coach, equally as many as males.
Is there any specific age range that you cater to more than others? For example, the 18 to 35, 35, 53, 53 and over.
Typically, they are about 43 to 72 years old.
And do you find there's one part of the world that you find most of your inquiries come from, or do your inquiries come from everywhere around this planet?
Well, I'm half Canadian, so I think I appeal, and they adopt me and welcome me in. So I would say North America, U.S., and Canada are very heavy concentrated areas. But I have many clients in Europe. The hardest is really the South Pacific. Australia, New Zealand can become a little problematic in time zone wise, but they're able to still subscribe to some of my programs and some of the other teachings I have. But one-on-one coaching is typically U.S., Canada, and then Europe, Western Europe primarily.
Now, you have an entire chapter dedicated to masculine, feminine energy and God. What's that about?
That is the chapter I didn't want to write. That was the chapter I went, who am I to espouse, having any answers here when we have theologians that have argued this for centuries. And so I really resisted having anything to do with that. And then one day I just had this download when I let it go and said, I'm not going to write it. And then it just came in a flood, and I've worked with really some of the best in the world. So in the Western Hemisphere, we call it masculine, feminine. In the Far East, often it's referred to as yin and yang, or yin and yang. And really what I found is, with working with some experts, there's really about 7 major characteristics to the masculine and feminine, or the yin and the yang. The masculine has 3, and that is mission, freedom, and love. And we can use a charged example today, and that's the President of the United States. Now, I think whether you like him or not is not the point here. But we could say he clearly knows the mission that he's on. Doesn't matter whether you agree.
Oh, I agree with his mission. I think he's a great guy, yeah.
We can say that he's free in the pursuit of his mission. But what is missing, what irritates and pisses people off, is that he's lacking being able to speak that truth through love. He's very brash. He's very to the point and direct. And people aren't used to that or find that disrespectful. But when we can do that mission, freedom, and love, that's what we would equate to some of the greatest leaders of our time, right? That's a Gandhi, possibly, or Nelson Mandela, or Jesus. Now, on the opposite side of that is the feminine, or the yin. And that is 4 qualities. And that is filling up, feeling safe, adventure, and speaking our truth through love. And we can see examples of somebody who speaks their truth versus somebody who speaks their truth through love. And so often when we are finding ourselves stuck and frustrated, it's because one or more of these 7 characteristics are missing within ourselves. And so when we get frustrated, when we get angry, people get angry because they don't know what else to say or don't know what next to do. And so often we see people today where you say, people are lazy. Well, people may be labeled as lazy because they don't have a mission. Or maybe they're serving a mission and they're not free in it. They're imprisoned. They're like, well, if you want this, then you got to give me that. And so they do it to horse trade. And so through these 7 characteristics, I found that we can look at Disney in all of the fables that they've animated, And there's the female character that goes off on adventure. And then there's a reluctant knight or masculine presence that comes in, serves his mission, but it's not through freedom. And at the end, of course, love conquers all, and mission and freedom and love is the masculine presence. She feels safe. She's filled up. She has her adventure, and she finally speaks her truth through love. And so we see it in many respects. But this is what allows us to actually truly find fulfillment.
So why, in your opinion, do traditional time management ideas no longer apply?
Well, the biggest reason is we're a global economy. We're a global world. We no longer are 9 to 5. We are connected 24/7. We have social media that bombards us. We have email. We have cell phones. We have, you name it. Do we ever get the chance to turn off? And as I said before, is with Bill Gates, he realized having that downtime was empowering. That's where our creativity comes. So the big piece is that the tools that existed in the 80s, 90s, and even in the early 2000s are irrelevant. The second is so many of it is predicated on the use of technology. There's a reason why Steve Jobs hated to-do list, because the reality is a to-do list is nothing more than another calendar with a different skin. See, we only get 168 hours a week, no more, no less. Doesn't matter how much money you have, doesn't matter where you were born, doesn't matter your gender or your race. That is the great equalizer. How we spend it is what separates us. And so what separates the boys from the men is the intentional, effective use of that time. And it can't be leveraged or predicated on technology alone. The system works, whether it's pen and paper, old-fashioned calendar, or whether you're using a computer today or a smartphone. And so it's about how do we leverage technology, and if it doesn't allow us to be more effective, then it's a distraction. And so it's really about taking some old principles and new technology and merging them together. And a lot of what happened in the old days was how to be a better to-do list subscriber, and that doesn't work.
Now, you also say that you can't keep trading time for money. So what's your solution?
I don't have a problem with money. I like money. And often it's misquoted, money is the root of all evil. No, the worship of money is. And so I'm actually very much about being able to use money to help people have skin in the game. So it's not about seeking money for the sake of money. It's about how do we use money to give us choice. So it's not and often you're going to see, I'm going to go for the material and just ignore all of the spiritual, the energy, the woo-woo stuff. And then you have all of the people on the other side that are like, oh no, I'm going to give up all the material and I'm just going to be spiritual. I'm just going to be centered. And I don't believe it's an either or conversation. In fact, I believe it's an and conversation. We're 3D beings or spiritual beings in a 3D world. And so it's about saying, how do I align my energy and use it in a material world? So it's a combination of being able to align both of those qualities rather than trying to reject. And that's really goes back to the energy, right? Is we think, well, I'm a man. Well, you don't reject the feminine. All men are both masculine and feminine. All women are both feminine and masculine. It has nothing to do with gender. It's just which one tends to lead a certain gender. And it's the same thing with money is we don't want to reject money, but it can't be the only focus. When we reject part of us, then it doesn't allow us to be complete.
Well, the time is up for tonight, Chad. I want to thank you so much for joining us. And Exonation, if you'd like to find more about Chad E. Cooper, all you need to do is go to his website, www.chadecooper.com. And Exonation, I'm sorry, I think that every athlete in the world is overpaid. They are getting paid to rip you, the consumer, off. I find most athletes today, if you do not stand up for the flag or recognize the country that so many have fought for and lost their lives for, man, you shouldn't be in a public sport. And no athlete deserves to get paid the amount of money that they do. They do not deserve to be paid more than a policeman, a fireman, a nurse, a doctor, or any profession that actually helps humanity. If there's any professional athletes listening tonight, I'm sorry. I think that you are all a waste of money. I'll be back on the other side of this commercial break with the news as we continue here in the X Zone from our broadcast center in Hamilton, Ontario, Canada. Don't go away.